What if one of the most famous speeches in American history wasn't actually spoken the way we've always heard it? What if the words that inspired generations were partly rewritten by someone else? And if they were, why would anyone alter the speech of one of America's greatest abolitionists? Stay with me, because the answer is more complicated and more fascinating than many people realize. The woman responsible was Frances Dana Gage, a respected white abolitionist, women's rights advocate, and president of the 1851 Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio. Years after the convention during the American Civil War, Gage published a dramatically rewritten version of Sojourner Truth's speech. But why? One of history's biggest misconceptions is that Sojourner Truth spoke with the Southern plantation dialect found in the famous version of her speech. But she didn't. Sojourner was born into slavery in Ulster County, New York. Her first language wasn't English, it was Dutch. When she later learned English, she spoke with a distinctive northern accent with a Dutch twist, not the exaggerated southern dialect that appeared in Frances Gage's version. That means phrases like, "Ain't I a woman?" were probably not how she originally expressed herself. So why replace her real voice with one she never had? The answer reveals more about 19th century America than it does about Sojourner Truth herself. Frances Gage believed her rewritten version would be stronger and more emotionally persuasive to white audiences. At that time, many Northern Americans pictured slavery only as a Southern plantation institution. They expected former slaves to sound a certain way. Because Sojourner Truth spoke like an educated New Yorker, many listeners found it difficult to reconcile her speech with their own preconceived stereotype of how a Negro's voice should sound. So Frances Gage reshaped her language into the dialect white audiences expected to hear. Ironically, the rewrite made Sojourner fit the stereotype instead of allowing the stereotype to be challenged. The consequences went even deeper. By giving Truth a Southern plantation dialect, Gage unintentionally helped erase an uncomfortable historical fact. Slavery had existed in the North. Sojourner Truth herself had been enslaved in New York. When readers imagined her as a Southern plantation slave, they overlooked Northern participation in slavery altogether. Changing her voice also changed how people remembered history. But there was another reason the speech became even more dramatic, and it involved politics. In her 1863 publication, Gage portrayed herself as the courageous organizer who rescued the convention from a hostile crowd by introducing Sojourner Truth. She also repeated the memorable refrain, "Ain't I a woman?" Whether historically accurate or not, the repeated question became an extraordinarily powerful rhetorical device. It united support for abolition while energizing the growing women's suffrage movement. The phrase became larger than the speech itself. Here is one of history's greatest ironies. The authentic transcript, recorded in 1851 by Marius Robinson, reveals Sojourner Truth as a brilliant, logical, intellectually persuasive speaker. She reasoned carefully about equality, women's capability, and human dignity. Yet Gage's fictionalized version, although historically inaccurate, created one of the most memorable speeches in American history. The rewritten refrain, "Ain't I a woman?" came to symbolize the unique struggles of black women long before scholars coined the term intersectionality. It captured the painful reality that black women were often denied both the protections extended to many white women and the full equality sought by black men. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: history deserves accuracy. At the same time, powerful stories often shape cultures in ways their authors never intended. Sojourner Truth's authentic voice deserves to be heard because it reveals her remarkable intellect. But the famous version reminds us of how society sometimes reshape historical figures to fit cultural expectations. Both versions changed America. Only one tells us how Sojourner Truth actually spoke. If a rewritten speech inspires millions but alters the historical truth, should we preserve the legend or recover the authentic voice? I'd love to hear your thoughts or your comments.